Watch_Dogs, the hacking game that came out in 2014. Wait, is that the actual title of the game? Like Watch_Dogs, not Watchdogs? I'm not saying that. I don't speak in C++. Why would I ever add the underscore? It's not a username in a COD lobby.
And shit. Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up.
And yes, I understand the underscore is used because you can't use spaces in file names, alright? I watched like half a season of Silicon Valley, so I basically know how to code, okay? It's just dumb. I'm not gonna call it that. I'm gonna call it Watchdogs. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. Playing like Batman, without any guns, can I beat the hacking simulator game, Watch_Dogs? I fucking said it again. Are you fucking kidding me? Watchdogs. I got it right this time. It was released in 2014, which is almost a decade ago somehow. It's an open world cover shooter where you play as Aiden Pierce, also known as the Vigilante, a professional hacker who uses his expertise to take down the criminal empire responsible for the death of a loved one. Yeah, it's basically the plot of Batman. And when you consider that Aiden's voice is deeper than my grandmother's love hole, and then consider his attitude throughout the game, you can see how much his character design was inspired by The Dark Knight. A big difference between the two characters though? Aiden sucks. His writing, and majority of the writing for this game's plot, falls apart the second you actually think about it or pay attention to what's going on. One of the biggest inconsistencies is Aiden's stance on killing criminals. Half of the time, he won't shut up about how that's something he doesn't do because it's wrong, and the other half of the game is him murdering a tech company security team just so he can go steal some stuff. Like, no dude, those guys aren't evil. They're just citizens doing their job. You're the evil one here. You just killed a bunch of people so you can steal stuff. Alright, that's not cool. That's not, like, acceptable. But in the spirit of Batman, can I beat Watchdogs as if Aiden had a similar moral code to The Dark Knight? I mean, no, the game requires you to kill people throughout the playthrough, but what I can do is remove my ability to use guns, meaning the only way I can attack enemies is with melees or with explosives, both hacked or thrown explosives. Oh, but using explosives will kill people, and that's not like the Bat. I mean, okay, yeah, in this game they die from explosives, but if you can do this in the Arkham City games, and it doesn't count as killing them, then I'm doing it in my run, okay? So on the game's hardest difficulty, can I beat Watchdogs without guns?
You have completed the first step to becoming a hacker by clicking on this video.
The game starts with a flashback. It's a setup for the plot of the game. Aiden and his hacking partner Damien are in the lobby of the Merlot Hotel stealing money from the rich hotel guests by hacking their bank account. Very based. Unfortunately for them, another hacker is at the hotel trying to steal something at the same time, and that hacker triggers the hotel security system to do a sweep. Because of the sweep, Aiden and Damien are forced to leave, but not before being identified by the hotel security system. It cuts to someone ordering a hit on Aiden and Damien, and then to a scene where Aiden's niece gets killed in their car crash caused by the hitman. Also, look at the effects they use in this cutscene. I get they want the cyber hacking aesthetic, but it just makes it difficult to understand what's going on, and it looks corny. Now, 11 months later, we're back in the present, or future. I don't know what the right tense is here. We are where we are, okay? Aiden is in the middle of torturing Maurice Vega, the man who carried out the hit and killed Aiden's niece. After beating him with the baton, which is like the saddest weapon to get your ass kicked with. If you ever get beat up by someone who's wielding a baton, just lie and tell your friends they had a bat or something, because I would totally make fun of you if you told me that you just got your ass kicked by someone using a baton. Oh no, it's a stick. Like, bro, just don't get hurt. It's a stick. Come on, it's easy. Tried to end Maurice's life here, but I guess the game knows about the challenge and didn't want me to fail this early. Got to the hallway where I'm introduced to the best character in the game.
Where the hell you been?
What? He's talking to me.
Yeah, in that one line, Jordy expresses more charisma than Aiden does throughout the whole game. I gotta quickly explain what's going on here because it's important for later. Aiden, with the help of Jordy, killed a bunch of gang members that were hanging out with Maurice, so Aiden and Jordy could kidnap Maurice and continue questioning him about who ordered the hit on Aiden's family. So Jordy poses the gang members as if they just had a shootout amongst themselves, and then calls the cops so they can discover the bodies. You gotta remember all this, because the gang members are about to be discovered by the cops, and one of them is still alive. On top of that too, the cops are now searching the stadium for someone else that might be involved. This is the tutorial section of the game, so you get introduced to hacking camera mechanics, and yeah, they're pretty stupid. The way hacking in this game works is essentially if you look at something from Aiden's perspective or through a camera, you can hack it by pressing a button. Like, obviously, it's incredibly unrealistic, but it personally doesn't bother me.
The game wants you to use hacking as a tool in combat, exploration, and stealth, so you need a system with an easy UI that works instantaneously.
The hacking prompt only coming up when you're staring at an object helps make the HUD manageable to the player. Otherwise, every time you enter an area with lots of things to hack, you would have like 50 different prompts on screen, and it would be hard to choose which specific hack you wanted to use at a specific moment. The hacks being a one-button press and working instantly make the hacking effective and cool? I guess cool is the right word to use here? I don't know. Basically, if the hacks took a while or were different to use, the player would just not use them. I would just throw a grenade instead of hacking an enemy's explosive if the process of hacking took 30 seconds and required me to actually enter lines of code. The game devs want the player to actually use the hacking abilities in the game, and making the hacking incredibly simple allows that. So even though this game often gets criticized for that, I honestly think the game devs did a really good job here, because the games can't be realistic or else it would be boring. It's also way more satisfying to just press one button and then watch chaos happen around you. It makes you feel like a powerful hackle that, knows his shit. So yeah, it's dumb and unrealistic, but I understand the game has to sacrifice this to create a user-friendly game, and I'm fine with it. Plus, it's not like Ubisoft fans are capable of complex actions like realistic hacking, or critical thinking, or the ability to drive a car, or the ability to swallow water without choking.
I know this because I am a Ubisoft fan.
Here's a show of my Ubisoft collection. We got Watchdogs. We got Watchdogs 2. We got Assassin's Creed Unity. We got Zuzu Pets for the Wii. We got my now divorced parents' wedding video, so limited edition. Pulp Fiction, of course. And Far Cry 4. So yeah, I'm a pretty big Ubisoft fan.
Before leaving the stadium, I get to use my first blackout. Blackout is a craftable one-time hack that causes a blackout. It's called blackout. They are extremely useful for stealth sections in the game and basically let you move completely undetected past enemies. I will be abusing these throughout the game. Popping them like a suburban white mom with nothing else to do pops painkillers. After escaping the stadium, I make it back to my hideout where Aiden punches his investigation board to show how complex and damaged he is. I get a call from Bad Boy 17, an anonymous hacker that is helping me track down Maurice and the others. Yeah, Bad Boy 17 is a horrible username. It sounds like something a married congressman would use on their secret Grindr account. After leaving the hideout, I get to experience ctOS for the first time. The reason why the whole city, everyone's phones, the cameras, the equipment, etc., all of it is hackable because the city of Chicago is wired to ctOS, an operating system created by the company Bloom. ctOS is easily hacked, allowing people, like Aiden, to take advantage and abuse the system. ctOS operates as a tool Bloom uses to turn Chicago into a surveillance state. Bloom records everyone's personal data and sells it to the highest bidder. Obviously, this is a big no-no. Not like a tall Italian grandpa. I mean like, oh no, this is like that book 1987 by George Eliot Orwellian. One of the features of ctOS is the crime prediction ability, an AI system within ctOS that can predict potential crimes and act on that information. Although Aiden and his friends believe that ctOS, and specifically things like the crime prediction system, are massive overreaches of authority by the government and corporations, the game uses them in a positive way in main and side missions, which is fucking stupid. There are a lot of choices they made in the story versus the gameplay that just don't line up. This is one of them. The characters constantly talk about how bad, wrong, or easily corruptible ctOS is.
But then the game makes you do missions where ctOS is horrible. You can't see me, I just said horrible in air quotes. System is used in a positive and moral way. The game implies that the crime detection system will get it wrong and innocent people will be targeted.
But every time it's used in game, Aiden stops a robbery successfully, or saves a woman from being beat by her ex-boyfriend. Jessica, you are so fucking lucky he was there. the game can't make up its mind if ctOS is good or bad, which is consistent with the issues surrounding the game's narrative. The writers seem to have failed to apply any sort of consistent morals or motivation for characters in the game. It breaks immersion and makes the game story seem meaningless and therefore kind of boring. Like, they could have made the crime prediction side missions so much cooler. Imagine if every time it was occurring, the player would first have to observe the situation to see if the person being accused of committing a potential crime by ctOS is actually going to commit a crime. And if you believe they are innocent and being wrongly profiled, then you can help them out. Maybe erase their data or make it so ctOS can't profile them anymore. And if they're gonna commit the crime, then maybe you can step in and intervene. I don't know. Games are just way better when the gameplay fits the story appropriately. It makes you feel way more involved in the world. And I feel like small things like this is where Watch Dogs really fail. ctOS just doesn't seem as evil as some of the characters think it is because of things like this. I get to Jackson's, Aiden's nephew's, birthday party, where I meet Nicole for the first time. And like, even though they're siblings, I don't know, the way they talk and shit is just like, gives me like pervystepsister.com vibes, you know, or ilovesis.com vibes, you know, or swapfamily.com vibes, you know, or like brazzers.com vibes, you know, just weird vibes. Maybe that's their vibe. Hey, maybe they're Mormons. It's in their religion. But yeah, seriously, Chris from the past is right. They just feel more like a divorced couple than siblings.
It's hard, but we're gonna get through it.
Right? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, the way he touched his arm and just looked at her like, That was like, I'm gonna fuck you later. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird.
Jax.
Like, I have a dumb conspiracy that the writers originally intended Aiden and Nicole to be married couple with kids, but Lena's death caused them to get a divorce and now they're co-parenting Jackson, because I feel like some of their interactions are just a bit too friendly. But then again, what do I know about family relationships? I admitted to using my sister's vibrator in the last video. Turns out someone is prank calling my sister wife. My sibling spouse. God damn it! I mean Nicole. Someone is prank calling Nicole. So I killed him with my car, which of course is fair and moral punishment for prank calling someone. Head to the gun store and then buy a gun, which is what they sell there at the gun store.
You can tell this game is based in America, because I could just walk right up to the counter and buy a gun like it's a pair of jeans.
I can't skip this, by the way. The game makes you purchase a gun here even though I'm not using it. For the record, I will be grabbing multiple guns throughout this run in case I do need to use them at some point. Before doing the next mission, I have to complete the online tutorial. It's against an NPC, so it's pretty easy. I simply broke the laws of physics to kick his ass. The game then wants you to invade someone and play an actual multiplayer match, but because I had my online settings turned off, it just let me skip the mission, so that's cool. The next mission makes me become some guy's hired chauffeur, and after escaping the cops, I drop him off to meet Lucky Quinn for the first time. Lucky is totally not the main secret villain who ordered the hit on my niece. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense. What, he owns the building I was hacking into that got the hit put on me, and he happens to be a ruthless mob boss that ends anyone that poses a risk to him? There's no way he is responsible. This scene is kind of funny though. This guy almost gets killed by Lucky's bodyguard, so he knees him in the crotch, and instead of going for the gun to kill him, he tries to apologize. So Lucky penetrates his neck like he's the main actress in a Brazzers film. Lucky's bodyguard then shoots him like 5 times after he's dead. I think it's because he's pissed off because he got kneed in the crotch by him. Lucky lets Aiden leave, understanding that I was just a hired driver. Immediately after leaving though, Aiden says this.
I could have done the city a huge favor if I put one between his eyes. And this is exactly what I've been trying to stay away from. It always comes back hard. That can't happen again.
And yeah, you should have just killed him, because Aiden says he doesn't want to get involved in anything so his family doesn't get hurt, but he's currently holding a hitman hostage and is trying to figure out who killed his niece. Like, you're already involved, dude. And he won't shut up about trying to get rid of scum like Lucky Quinn, so why not just fuck him up there? He's like 99 years old, you can kick his ass, trust me, I know from experience. You know how many old men I've knocked out? 4. I will not answer any questions related to that. My lawyers are already pissed that I mentioned it. Headed to the subway to meet up with Bad Boy, where you get this gem of interaction.
Bad boy.
What?
Bad boy, 17.
What the fuck, man?
I fucking love that, man. He's just going up to random people asking that they're a Bad Boy 17 like he's meeting someone for anonymous sex. Anyways, turns out Bad Boy 17 is actually a girl. Bet you thought criminal hackers couldn't be girls, but they can. That's called feminism. Look it up. Also, listen to the scene for 1 second.
You're not quite what I expected.
And you're exactly as I expected, Aiden.
I fucking despise how mysterious, introspective, and badass they try to make the dialogue. It's so fucking goofy. You're exactly what I expected. Bro, you met him for like 20 seconds in a random subway. Stop trying to be his therapist. Clara, who is Bad Boy, gives me access to new abilities I can unlock in the skill tree, and this is a good point for me to explain the overall strategy for this run. I need to unlock a few perks in order to keep myself alive and defeat enemies easily, especially because I'm on the hardest difficulty, and you die very, very easy. Like, no joke, literally in 4 shots I'm dead. So, some skills I need are Disrupt Helicopter 1 and 2. This allows me to hack helicopters and disable them for up to 30 seconds. This is very important for some missions in the campaign, especially because a helicopter sniper can kill me in 2 shots if I'm not in a vehicle. A few personal hacks like Disrupt Comms and Disable Reinforcements. Disrupt Comms stuns enemies for like 10 seconds, and Disable Reinforcements, disables reinforcements. Not like he turns them into paraplegics or anything like that. It's like you can't call for reinforcements if you know what it means. A stealth upgrade so I can sprint without making any noise. The ability to craft various explosives. There are 3 types: the frag grenade, the IED, and the proximity IED. These are necessary for enemies I can't melee, but I still need to defeat. 2 upgrades for my health because it's extremely low on this difficulty. The ability to craft Blackout. Like I said earlier, I will be abusing this in game to get past a lot of areas. And most importantly, Enforcer Takedown. The ability to take down enforcers, which are strong enemies in the game. This is also the last skill in this skill tree branch, meaning I got to get these 2 skills before that. Both allow me to carry more explosives, so they're useful anyways. Enforcer Takedown is the most important skill because I absolutely need this in order to get past one specific enemy without failing the run. During the mission, pretty early on in the campaign too, Aiden is going to be sent to a prison. While inside, all his items are going to be removed, and eventually I'll get to an area where I have to kill a bunch of guards. The game gives you some guns here, so it's not that hard on a normal playthrough, but for this playthrough, I'll have to melee all of them. Before leaving that area, you encounter your first enforcer. With nothing to explode him with, if I don't have Enforcer Takedown, I won't be able to kill him without using guns. Which means in order to actually complete this run, I will have to spend some time grinding out side missions so I can get the skill before that mission, because like I said, it's early on in the campaign. Before I can actually start grinding out my skills, I gotta finish this mission with Claire. To track down the guy who's hiring people to harass my sister-in-law. To get the information I need, I gotta hack into a ctOS tower, which is heavily guarded, so I gotta play through my first real stealth section of the game. The first part is pretty easy, except for the time I accidentally got into this car. If you notice, I can profile enemies just like civilians, and when you do, the game gives you some additional background on them, often painting them as bad guys, so it feels more morally correct to kill these men. But the range of questionable or bad backgrounds the enemies have is very large. Sometimes it's just a guy who likes to fish with dynamite, and yeah, that's a very shitty thing to do. He's definitely an asshole, but not like evil, you know? While one of the other guards is casually having a conversation about ordering a 10-year-old for sex. So one of the worst offenses on earth. I have no idea why they just made this one guard like fucking Satan himself, but they did, and like all these profile things are random, so this is just like one of the random encounters you can have, I guess. It's weird. Got inside where I had my first hard section of the run. Now normally, when indoors, you can use a blackout and slip by undetected, but for some reason it wasn't working. I kept getting caught while in complete darkness. I don't know why this was happening. It could be a bug, or that this level is coded so blackout won't work here. Regardless, it made this section very, very hard. I don't have any skills to really help me out here, so I just had to keep trying until I got a run where I was able to knock down all the guards without being killed myself. After getting through the section, I need to hack the ctOS box. To hack it, I need to complete this little minigame. Like I said in my last video, I kind of dislike minigames like this. It's not as bad as Prey's version of a hacking minigame, but still pretty annoying. Hacking into the ctOS box gave me the location of the man I'm after, and I head there to meet him. After getting to the apartment, I learned it's Damian Brinks, my old hacker friend, who's prank calling my girlfriend. Girl who is my friend and also my sister. He tells me he wants to have a chat and work with me again. Instead of just calling me, he hoped I would track him down by first finding out my sister's getting prank called, then by finding out who was doing it, then realizing that person was being paid by somebody else, then tracking down the person who was paying the original person, and then finding that person's home address and showing up there. Which is very dumb. Oh, but wait, it gets worse. Damien then sends mercenaries, in this game they call them fixers, to come kill you, which doesn't make any fucking sense. He wants to work with me. Why the fuck is he trying to kill me right here? It's to prove that Aiden still got game. Dog, what? What? No, it's not. The only reason they put this here is because the game needs an action sequence. They haven't done anything in a while. It's the dumbest fucking reasoning ever. This whole fucking thing is dumb. Why didn't Damien just contact Aiden? It's so fucking stupid.
Thankfully, these guys are easy to kill because of all the hackable explosives in the area. Quickly made my escape and headed to meet Damien. Holy shit, is that Oliver Tree?
Life goes noiny,
I meet Damien at the Chicago Bean, which, side note, is the world's funniest landmark. Like, they legit have a giant bean in the middle of the city and think it's art. No, bro, some stoner artist thought it'd be a fucking hilarious joke if he could pitch to the city to put a giant metal reflective bean in the middle of the park. And they bought into it. It's nicknamed the Bean. Like, it's ridiculous as fuck. I love it. Damien tells me he knows I'm searching for answers about what happened to them. Damien too was targeted by the hit. He's physically disabled from the attack. So just like Aiden, he wants revenge. Now, obviously, Aiden agrees to work with Damien. And within a week, they track down the man who ordered the hit and the game ends. Haha, just joking. That would make sense. Aiden refuses to work with Damien for some reason and instead tells him to fuck off. I have no idea why. They want the same goals, they both got hurt by the same people, and they can both help each other in unique ways. The game implies Damien taught Aiden how to hack, meaning he's likely better than at him, so why refuse his offer? Aiden is just a moody bitch that rather work alone than work smart.
Listen to this every time before a workout. I am strong. I am powerful.
I'm now going to take a break from the main quest to grind out my levels and earn the skill points to upgrade myself. It's not going to take that long anyways. Come on, how hard can it be? Okay, here's the game plan. In Watchdogs, there are multiple types of side missions you can complete. Most of the side missions award cash or XP upon completion, but the gang hideout side mission gives you 1 skill point per target taken out. Meaning I can get over 15 skill points if I complete all the gang hideouts, which will let me get enough skills to complete the challenge. First thing I gotta do is complete all the towers around the map so I can find the side missions. This is a Ubisoft game after all. Of course there are towers I gotta unlock to reveal the map. There are a bunch, I think like 13 in total. These are pretty annoying and repetitive, so I'm just gonna skip them because they are boring. Got to my first gang hideout and started the mission. For each gang hideout, I have to first identify which enemy is the target, then knock them down. I cannot kill them, meaning I can't just throw explosives at them, I have to melee them. This would normally take a while, but it's nighttime and I got blackouts on me. Like I said earlier, these things are OP. Watch how easy I complete this level. After identifying the target, I pop the blackout, run straight towards a guard, knock him out, straight towards the target, knock him out, and then run out of the area without being seen. It took like 10 seconds. So the one thing I forgot to mention was how stupid the gang hideouts are. Here's a concept for them in the story. Aiden learns of a gang leader who's up to no good, so he decides to scare them straight. That's right, he just wants to scare them. That's why I need to melee each target, because I can't kill them. If I do, the level fails, because remember, Aiden is supposed to think murder is bad. But I can kill anyone else in the level as long as I don't kill the target. Meaning I can go into these gangs, kill like 15 dudes, but if I kill one target, that's not morally right and it fails me. I don't know why they just didn't make it so everyone in these sections has to be taken down non-lethally, but they didn't. That's why in the gameplay footage you're watching right now, I'm using guns. I want to show you how easy it would be on a normal run. Everyone is easily dispatched with no consequence. But the second I kill the target, I fail. Small stuff like this in the game just creates more disconnect between the characters you see on screen and the actual gameplay. It sucks. Like in GTA, you don't care that you're killing a bunch of random people because you play as a criminal. It's not weird for you to be having a shootout with rival gangs or whatever else you might be doing. But when you're supposed to be the hero of a city and you just keep killing random low-life criminals, you feel disconnected from the character presented in the story. Also, I can't just use a blackout for this hideout because it's not night, so it wouldn't have any effect. Thankfully, there is a way to set time to night, which I did for most gang hideouts, saving a bunch of time. After taking out the target properly this time, I cut from the parking garage like my name was Dominic Mortadella, or whatever that guy from Fast and Furious is called. Absolutely destroyed this car. Hey, now I'm like the other guy from Fast and Furious. Finally, I finished all the hideouts. It took way too long, but I did it. I got all the skills I needed, and some extra to make parts of the game a bit easier. With this out of the way, I can continue with the main story. Jordy gives me a call to let me know one of the gang members from the stadium survived, and that somehow he's gonna ID me, which is bad. I don't know how he would know who I am though. I didn't tell him my name or anything, and I'm wearing the same outfit I always wear, which is supposed to be a disguise. So for some magical reason, this one gang member can ID me, and he needs to be dealt with. The game never gives an explanation. Somehow he just knows that the vigilante is Aiden Pierce, although everybody else you deal with in the game doesn't know that. So, cool. I get to Jordy where he tells me what's going on, and this is why he's the best character in the game.
Well, security in these buildings is pretty tight, so people like this feel nice and secure living way up here. I mean, these people just had a simple chain lock on their door. I guess they want to have a good look at the pizza guy before they open it all the way.
All right, fine, sure. So about this problem.
Well, that's why I brought the bolt cutters. He opens the door this much, there's a chain right there, I slip him in and snip, and guess what? It's not the pizza guy.
Jordy,
I fucking love this dude. He seriously needs his own game about being like a sassy assassin. It would be amazing. Someone in this compound knows what's going on with the prisoner transfer, so I need to get information out of them. I use a blackout to just skip the stealth section and get to the target. Once the mob boss, I start questioning him. When he doesn't comply, Aiden threatens his family, which is insane because moments before, Aiden says this.
Listen, the witness knows my face. If the fixers reach him, if my name gets out there, they'll come after my family.
He says he can't get ID'd because enemies will go after his family. This is why Aiden is unlikable. He's just a shitty, selfish person. He only thinks about himself. He thinks he's some sort of superhero doing the right thing, but at the end of the day, he's just as shitty as the people he fights. After getting the info I need, I fight my first helicopter. Because I already got the disable helicopter ability, it's very easy. I just quickly hack him and run off in the dark while a blackout goes off. The start of the next mission has me targeting a mob boss's niece, which is the most ironic action a man avenging his niece's death could do. Seriously, Aiden's just like a psychopath at this point, I don't know what else to say. After peacefully taking out the next target, I carefully drive towards the prison to start the next mission. Now remember, the reason I have to go into the prison is because Aiden wants to scare the gang member, not kill him. Aiden doesn't want to kill anybody he needs to, because that's bad. He only wants to kill when absolutely necessary. Inside the prison, Aiden immediately gets arrested for, I don't know, having a gun. This doesn't make sense. One, it's America. He would more likely be arrested for not owning a gun than owning one. And two, the cops didn't immediately dump a clip into him, which is very weird behavior for American cops. The first half of this mission is easy. It's just a bit of stealth. The difficult section is in the basement. All my equipment is removed except for my phone and my strap-on. I mean my baton. And I gotta get through like 15 guards. Normally I would just use grenades in an area like this because lots of people in a very small area makes melee takedowns almost impossible. See, every time you melee someone, you enter a quick animation of a takedown. During the animation, I can still take damage, but I can't move or cancel the animation, which means I need to be very careful or else I'll get shot to shit while I'm taking people down. I honestly thought this section would take a good 20 tries, but thankfully I got it on my first try. I seriously don't know how. I got really lucky. Enemies split up in formations that let me take them out without getting lasered by the others. When I went to melee this one guy, the animation of the takedown involved me shooting him with my pistol. This doesn't count as a fail. If you melee someone with a gun equipped, the animation that plays will use the weapon instead of the baton. This happened a few times when I accidentally had a gun equipped. It's the same input as a melee takedown, which is why I'm not counting it as a fail. Plus, maybe he survived that. You don't know. You're not his doctor. He's fine. After the last guy's knocked out, the enforcer spawns. Thankfully, with the jam-com skill to stun him, and the enforcer takedown skill to, take him down, it was very easy. Fortunately, every enforcer can be stunned with jam-coms once, so they won't be that difficult during the run. Aiden can now confront the final prisoner. He tells him to forget everything he saw, or Aiden will make his prison stay indefinite by hacking his criminal record or something like that. I mean, this doesn't stop the prisoner from IDing Aiden. If the mob tortures the prisoner or threatens him with death, he will fold and ID Aiden, because getting murdered is worse than spending your whole life in prison. Oh yeah, you can also just kill him after the cutscene. The game gives you the option. He even has some voice lines begging for his life. So you know, what the fuck? The game just can't be consistent. It just can't. I'm convinced this game had 2 different scripts written, each by a toddler high in paint thinners, and then they combined the 2 scripts without adding any of the inconsistencies and just went with it. That's what they did. That's what they have to have done, because it makes no fucking sense. Anyways, I got out of the prison, I then did this super cool jump so I can easily outrun the cops. All I gotta do is stay in the train tracks, so it should be no problem at all. Damien gives me a call. He wants to meet in person again. Totally not a trap like last time where he sent people to kill me. Look how good at driving I am. I'm so good. Got to the meeting location where, holy shit, what a surprise. It was a trap. Thanks, Damien. Damien is now at my wife's house. I mean my sister's house. I rush over there, where Damien tells me that he kidnapped my bratty stepsis, sis, and is holding her hostage so I can help him track down the second hacker at the Merlot job.
Hey, where are you?
Rachel, where are you?
Jackson, my nephew, didn't get kidnapped, so I track him down and rescue him before Damien's men find him. Killed them all with explosives, got this cool shot. And dropped Jackson off at his therapist, which is weird. I mean, the therapist would just definitely call CPS, right? If someone dropped a kid off to me and I couldn't contact their parents, 100%. Also, side note, CPS is the acronym for Child Protective Services. I mean, like, maybe they should try to take out the CP in their acronym if they're trying to protect kids, you know? Back in my hideout, me and Claire get attacked by some fixers. One enters the room and holds Claire hostage. I'm forced to shoot to save her. I tried to move, take on my weapon wheel, and use other abilities, but unfortunately I'm locked in the aiming position. And if I don't shoot within 3 seconds, it fails me. So, I restarted the mission. I tried to throw explosives on the door before the mission started, hoping they would detonate when the enemy spawned, but the second I start the mission, it despawns both explosives. So I went to YouTube to see if I could see any skips related to the level. After watching some speedrunning and glitch videos, I couldn't find anything useful. If I had to guess why there aren't any skips or actions possible here, it's because it's the very beginning of the mission. When I start the mission, the game reloads the area. That's why the bombs despawn. And because I can't do any actions until I'm locked into the aiming position, I don't think it's possible for me to put any inputs in that would create a variation of the scenario, allowing me to skip shooting the man. So regretfully, I have to shoot him. This is my first fail of the run. I shot him in the leg hoping maybe it would keep him alive, but of course it didn't. Everybody knows shooting someone in the foot is fatal. I don't know why I tried it. The rest of the mission is easy. Lots of cover in the area, and I just resupplied all my explosives, so I had no problem getting rid of all the fixers. Dame gives me a call asking what happened to my hideout. When I tell him it was destroyed and I need to get new gear to track down the hacker, he tells me it's not his problem. It is your problem. I can't do the one thing you want me to do? Shouldn't you care? Or help Aiden so I can start getting you what you want? What? Whatever, man. Claire asked me to meet her in the city, and when I do, I learn about the bunker. It's an island where Bloom first tested ctOS. Now abandoned, but it still has all the equipment there from the test, meaning it's perfect for Aiden. Why did Bloom leave all this equipment here? I don't know. Fuck you. You figure it out, okay? I'm tired of writing this script. You know what? You can finish the rest of it. Go ahead. What are you writing? Chris has a small winner? What does that mean? Oh, you're going back. Oh, wiener. It is not, alright? Fuck you. My preset, it's the biggest he has ever seen. Anyways, to get to the bunker, I gotta find the control for the bridge, which some homeless dude has, so I'm gonna go rob a homeless dude. You know, if you're gonna rob someone, a homeless dude is probably not your best choice. They typically don't have much to rob. Tobias, the guy I gotta rob, is at an underground poker game, so I join in order to identify him. See, this could have been a cool mission, where you had to actually play poker and perform well enough while questioning everyone at the table so you could identify Tobias. But no, that would be cool, so you don't do that. What you actually do is play one half of a hand before you start chasing Tobias. I beat the absolute shit out of an old homeless man, that makes 5, and get his remote. Oh, and even though I just gave him a concussion the size of your mother's ass, he still tells me I can visit his shop for anything I need. Tobias' shop is actually very good. I can buy craftables there, like blackouts and IEDs, which saves me a bunch of time. So the next thing you do is power up the bunker, and I would love to show you guys some footage of that. But my dumbass had the stream on the wrong source for 10 minutes, so it's just footage of me.
Maybe if I had at least one viewer in my stream, someone could have told me that, but, you know, I didn't, so no footage. Oh, and don't you worry, dear viewer. I promise you, there's another fuck up like this, but way, way worse. Trust me. I learned that the IP of the second hacker from the Merlot job, and whatever data they stole, is in the Rossi-Fremont apartments. The Rossi-Fremont apartments are under control of the gang, the Black Viceroys, and it's the gang's base of operations. I gotta hack some boxes on the outside of the apartments, which is pretty easy with the use of some blackouts. Knocked out all the guards in the dark so I couldn't get caught while doing my tasks. After hacking into the Rossi-Fremont, I used the cameras inside the building to scout my way up to the top floors. Oh look, there's your mom. I learned that the data is being stored at the top of the apartment, behind a door that can only be unlocked with an RFID chip. Hey, where's the problem at? The problem is that that chip is on a dog tag around the neck of Iraq, the leader of the Black Viceroys, a very stable and level-headed man. Along with Iraq, I meet Bedbug, his cousin and second-hand man. Aiden comes up with a plan to get the data. Step 1, get blackmail on Bedbug and use it against him. That way he can easily transfer the data to me in there and I don't have to step a foot in the gang space. Step 2, get close enough to Iraq so I can scan his dog tag to get the RFID chip, which will unlock the data room.
I'm not talking about those crabs, gentlemen. I'm talking about the ones down your pants that make you itch like crazy.
I get to Bedbug's house and hack in to see what's going on, where I get this very funny scene of Bedbug talking to his grandma. He explains to his grandma his name is Bedbug because he can get in any girl's bed, and his grandma absolutely shits on his corny ass nickname. The reason I'm talking about this is to show the insane disconnect from the story's very heavy plot and characters and the ridiculous humor it has sometimes. The writing can be very funny, but it feels super dampened when you put it in context of the world's game and the plot it builds around it. Here's another example. When hacking to a server room in the game, you can hack into a random person's IP and see what they're doing. Every time you do this, you get a really dumb but funny scene of someone doing something in their own private home. I'll play one for you guys right now.
5 1/4, all right, okay. Yeah, 5.5. Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, baby.
5.5 is more than enough. You don't even have to worry.
For the record, 5.5 inches is actually like huge, and anything over 2.45 inches is average. So let's say, for example, you knew someone who had like a 2.46 inch member, then you would tell that person that they are average. So if my girlfriend is watching this, she would then know that I would be average, right? Right, Heidi? Anything above 2.45 is average, so I am average. Not small. Please stop telling your friends I have an incredibly tiny penis. It is becoming very difficult for me to have the courage to go outside. Anyways, that's what I mean. The plot constantly talks about how evil and bad the invasion of privacy ctOS causes is, but then every time you use it, it's a hilarious and ridiculous scene. So as a player, I'm weirdly conflicted, because if I judge ctOS on the comedic scenes I see in game, then it's dope. But if I judge ctOS off the plot, then it's horrible. I begin tailing Bedbug, where he almost immediately gives me the blackmail I need. During the tail, I also learned that Iraq has put a secret hit on Bedbug. He's gonna get other members of the Viceroy to kill Bedbug at the bricks. So, Aiden decides to go there first and kill all the hitmen, because that will increase Bedbug's reputation. What? That's not how that works. Iraq wants him dead for a reason. Regardless if Bedbug impresses him by evading the hit, that motive to kill him stays, especially when the assumed reason Iraq wants him dead in the first place is because he knows Bedbug is conspiring against him. But whatever, the story making no sense isn't new information at this point, right? So who cares? Let's just go with it. Sabotaging the hit is easy. I get time to set up, so I just cover the place in bombs. After that, I confront Bedbug to let him know I got the blackmail. He complains saying that he can't betray Iraq because then Iraq will want to kill him. But he already wants Bedbug dead. So what's the difference? There's literally no threat to the blackmail I have because it doesn't matter if Iraq gets this information, he wants Bedbug dead regardless. I don't think Bedbug can think that well because he doesn't understand this. So he's now in my pocket and I just need to get the RFID chip before he goes into the building.
I really came last minute because I was hoping to learn more about being a successful pimp.
You
You be pimpin'.
When first getting the apartments, I learned that Iraq, who almost never leaves the Rossi-Fremont, will be running security for an auction that Lucky Quinn is hosting, so that's my chance to get a scan of his dog tag to get the key. First, I gotta find out what and where the auction is, so I tracked down the briefcase containing the guest list that Iraq used to give this man a permanent concussion. The case is currently being handed off by some club members in an attempt to confuse ctOS so they can't track the package, but like anybody watching this could tell who had the briefcase. They drop it off at a marina. After sneaking in and getting the guest list, I pick the identity of Nicholas Crispin to steal. Aiden tells Claire he needs to kill Crispin to take his identity so he doesn't ruin the plan. They make it sound like a big deal, and this is something that needs to be done because Aiden's partner, family member, is being held hostage as leverage. But I mean, like, he could totally just capture Crispin and hold him hostage. He's doing the same thing to Maurice right now, so why not just hold him hostage until he's done using his identity? Like, what? Like, I don't care personally if he chooses to kill him or not, it's just the plot holes take away from the weight of the actions when, you know, players know of the alternative. The more I play the story, the more I dislike Aiden, and the more I think his ability to critically think is absent. Taking out Crispin is easy. He's at a car dealership surrounded by a bunch of club members, but with one blackout I can take him out, avoiding all detection. See all those men guarding him? They're security given to him by the club for his visit to the auction. Meaning the same people running the auction would know if his security team was killed or if he was. But of course that doesn't happen. Also, I didn't kill him, I just knocked him out. And that counts as killing him though now? Now posing as Mr. Crispin, I can get the invitation for the auction. It's waiting for me with a prostitute at a local sex club, just like a normal post office. When I get there, the prostitute, Poppy, tries killing me. She thinks that I'm Crispin and he has a habit for abusing and killing girls he sleeps with, but Aiden says, "I'm not gonna hurt you." And then she just believes him. And fully trusts him. And, like, what? So that's cool. Like, she just is fine with him now just because he said that one thing? Like, how does she not know he's lying? Also, how the fuck did she sneak that knife in? She is butt naked. I guess she might have put that shit between her cheeks or something, but, you know, then I'd see, like, the scratch marks on her ass, right? So where could she have sneaked it in? It's not like women are born with a natural pocket where they can conceal items easily, right? They don't have that ability. Now at the auction, it's time to get the scan of Iraq's dog tag. I just go upstairs and meet with him where I can easily get what I need. Aiden then has a convo with Lucky Quinn disguised as Mr. Crispin. And honestly, I don't fucking care at this point. The writing in the game is so buck wild at this point, they could say anything here and I wouldn't know if I should believe it. Because odds are, the next mission they will say or do something that completely contradicts this interaction. No idea how Aiden survives this. While leaving the auction, you get caught, and now you have to fight your way out. Thankfully, it's nighttime, so I just pop blackout after blackout and run my ass to the exit. I think I used about 3 blackouts in total to get out of the area. There's over 30 enemies in this section, and I'm still playing on the hardest difficulty. So to be able to get out of here without being detected just because of the blackouts kind of proves how OP they are. With everything I need, I can finally use Bedbug to steal the data, but before I could do that, I get a call from the therapist watching Jax. She tells me he ran off and I gotta find him. Aiden is very eager to find his nephew.
Hang in there, kid. I'm coming for you.
Okay, Aiden. Maybe too eager. Somehow he got in this compound filled with fixers, so I gotta go in and save him. I need to clear the area first, so I take out all the enemies before getting in. That's where I get one of the only cutscenes where Aiden acknowledges he is a murdering madman. Jackson saw Aiden killing all the men in the area through the security cameras, and now he's scared of Aiden. It would have been great if the writing explored this concept more, and Aiden had a character arc where he accepts who he is, or changes who he is. But nah, Jackson just forgives Aiden for all the murders he just saw in the next cutscene, and their relationship is never really damaged or changed from this. Remember, Jackson's supposed to be a kid with PTSD because he saw his sister die, so it totally makes sense that seeing more murder wouldn't mess him up, come on.
Hey guys.
Anyways, onto the Bedbug mission. It's super easy. You just guide Bedbug around with cameras until he reaches the locked server room with the data. Once inside, he starts transferring the data over. There's actually a cool little hidden detail here. In the room where Bedbug is downloading the data, there's one other camera in it, and if you hover over it, instead of getting the normal prompt to hack it, it says in use, implying someone else in the room is using that camera and watching what's happening. And within 10 seconds of being in this room, Bedbug gets caught by Iraq. It's basically the game's way of showing you that Iraq was watching and explains why he's able to catch Bedbug so quick. It's neat. It's, you know, good writing for once. So Iraq busts in and he is pissed, like pissed. Look at his face, even when he paused the screen you can see the anger in his eyes. So Iraq grabs Bedbug and hangs him out the window and starts questioning him. That's where he sees the wire and the footage cuts out. Now surely Iraq is gonna drop Bedbug, right? I mean, Iraq is the same guy that killed the henchman for laughing at him before, so if someone betrayed him, then he would definitely kill him. Iraq had a hit on Bedbug like 4 missions ago. He wants him dead already. And now he knows that he betrayed him, so there's no way he lives through this, right? Right? No, of course he lives. Why would he die? That would make sense. Oh, and not only does he live, he then calls Aiden and gives him a tip on some of the information he stole. And he got that tip from Iraq. What? So I got about a quarter of the data I need, and without the rest, Damien won't release my sister. To make it worse, the data is encrypted and needs to be decrypted before I can hand it off. Claire tells me there's only one man who could decrypt it, and we need to find him. Wanted criminal hacker, Ray Kenney.
They like driving around in cars, and they like drinking. But the two don't mix all that well.
I go to the last known location of Ray. For some reason, fixers are also looking for Ray, and they beat me to it. I use explosives to deal with them, hack the computer, and get rid of the rest of the fixers while tracking a signal. I complete this area flawlessly and in my first try. It didn't take like 5 tries, so stop asking, okay? One fixer escapes with Raymond's location, so I gotta chase him down and get rid of him. It's supposed to be a hard chase because he's in a fire truck, which is very durable. But because I just got the steam pipe hack, it's very easy to take down cars now. Still have to kill the dude once he is out of the car and almost died doing so. Even with the health upgrades, it still takes only a few shots for me to die. Thankfully, I killed him by lightly hitting his side with my car. I guess? I don't know how this killed this guy. Turns out Ray's in Pawnee, the area where Lena died. I tracked down a signal to a bar where I do a drinking minigame to earn his trust. Fun fact, when you drink, this is what actually happens in real life. I know because it's the reason I killed those kids while drunk driving. I couldn't see them because all the button prompts were in the way. I tried to explain that to the judge, but apparently that's still not okay. She said, "Mr. Power, regardless if you could see properly, you still would have hit the pedestrian children because you were driving through a baseball diamond during a Little League game." Which I guess makes sense, but I still think I'm innocent. How do you know those kids didn't deserve to die young, huh? They could have been evil, you know? Maybe Jimmy wasn't doing his homework. Maybe he deserved to get plowed down by my Ford F-150. Anyways, that's the reason I stopped uploading for a few months. I was in jail for kid murder. After some good old bonding, Raymond agrees to help me out. But first, I need to clear his biometric data from Bloom servers. If we don't, he'll be fined by Bloom the second he starts to help me. First step is stealing back his taco truck. For some reason. Just got stealth through an area and escape. After doing so, Ray tells me that it was a joke and he didn't expect me to actually do it. Very funny joke, making me do something incredibly dangerous for no reason. Thankfully, I didn't get seriously hurt doing so. To get Raymond off Bloom servers, I need to sneak into Bloom's HQ. And to do that, I need to steal the security clearance from some local goons. While in the process of doing that, I send this one enforcer to the moon. Getting the codes and escaping is easy. Next, I have to thin out the numbers of the guards at the HQ by killing a bunch of security guards while they're driving a convoy. Remember, Aiden thinks he's a good guy, and that murdering all these security guards, who are normal innocent people just doing their jobs, is fine, I guess. So I casually do a mass murder. You know, just a little mass murder. Name one time mass murder hurt anybody. You can't, because it's totally fine. Sneaking into Bloom is super easy. Once again, I could just use blackouts to knock everyone out in the dark, and then complete the objective once the area is clear. After hacking, you learn Damien is currently meeting with Bloom's CEO. He's offering her the location of Raymond, Aiden, and all the blackmail I'm supposed to give in exchange for free use of ctOS. Now, I would totally love to show you some audio from this cutscene, but my dumbass forgot to mute myself and I was playing my kalimba the whole time, so this is what you get instead. Now that Bloom knows Raymond's location, they send a death squad to wipe him out. This level is very easy as well. Raymond has a bunch of homemade traps set up, so it's very easy to kill everybody without guns here. After getting Raymond into the city, it's time to get the data from Iraq and Rossi-Fremont. Also, thank God no one watched these streams when I was live. Look at this horrible joke I made.
Claire here can fill me in on a few things.
Thanks. I've got something to fill Claire in on.
Count yourself lucky you weren't there to see it. So the next mission is basically the only real boss fight in the game, so to prep for it I filled up on all my equipment. I'm going to need as many explosives as I can carry.
I have half a brain.
Alright, so remember like 5 paragraphs ago when I said I made a worse mistake when I was filming? Yeah, this is it. My friend had come to the chat a little earlier and had switched my stream to the desktop view. We were watching some YouTube videos. He cut and I continued filming, but I forgot to switch back. And with no one watching my stream, and without a second monitor to see what's on my Streamlabs, there's no way for me to find out about my fuck up unless I decide to stop playing and look at my Streamlabs again. So now my big ass forehead is covering 1/4 the gameplay footage, which is horrible because this is probably one of the most important missions, if not the most important mission for me to film. This is the only mission with a boss fight. This is the only mission in the game where there's a specific section where I have to fight differently. So me filming that and showing it to you guys is kind of the point of this fucking video. And you know, I fucked that up. This mission takes place at night, so sneaking into the apartments is easy. Jordy once again proves he's the best character in the game.
Yeah, I see you. Are you gonna tell me why we're fucking with these guys?
Do you care?
Not really.
There's a computer inside that...
No, it's okay. I really don't care. I was just trying to make some small talk.
Once inside, I gotta find my way up. It's not too hard. Being in the enclosed space makes it easy to kill everyone with the grenades. They don't have a lot of space to run to. I tried to melee as much as I could here to save my explosives to ensure I had enough for the boss fight. Thank God I did too, because I was cutting it close. Got to the server room and got all the data I needed. On my way out, Iraq confronts me. He says this line,
"Motherfucker, I don't even know you."
Which is honestly a better version of the meme from Endgame. Now it's time for the boss battle. Well, I guess like 3/4 of the boss battle, really. After an explosion goes off, Aiden finds himself in a small area with lots of cover and a few explosive hacks on the ground. So the fight itself isn't actually that hard because I can basically always be taking cover. Killed myself the proximity ID before any enemies even spawned. Nice. Second try. There's 2 waves of enemies. The first one is a normal few goons, which I can easily kill with some explosives. The second wave is Iraq and an extra strong enforcer. Both of them have a lot of health, so it's going to take a while to kill them, and I can't melee either of them for an instant kill. On top of that too, I'm getting low on bombs, so I can't risk spamming them instantly with my bombs and wasting them. Killed myself again while trying to take out the enforcer. When I respawned, I learned 2 things. 1, I gotta sit through all the dialogue each time we restart, which fucking sucks. It's literally like fucking 30 seconds each time. And 2, the enemies don't have a set spawn, so I can't just booby trap the locations they spawn. I don't know where it will be this time, and I don't have enough bombs to waste guessing. Kept dying on the last wave, usually because I would fuck up a bomb throw. So I came up with a strategy. Now I can't tell where the enemies are gonna spawn from, but I can tell where they're gonna go. If I put myself anywhere in this map, they're gonna go to where I am, obviously. So all I have to do is not booby trap where I think they're gonna spawn, but booby trap where I'm going to be and then hope that they get close enough. Eventually, I get lucky enough and I'm able to do enough damage that when Iraq steps near one of the explosive vents, I can hack it and finally kill him. As Aiden is giving his monologue about some shit I honestly couldn't care less about, I decided to check on Streamlabs and make sure everything's still recorded properly. That's when I noticed my fuck up. I just recorded 25 minutes of gameplay, and probably the most interesting combat section of the game incorrectly. I was pissed, so I ended recording for the day.
So today's video is 10 tips for getting started in the furry fandom.
With Iraq dead, I bombed him worse than the US bombed the actual country, Iraq. I now have the data Damien wants in exchange for my sibling with benefits. Oh, I mean platonic benefits, like we carpool or something normal siblings do, because we're normal siblings. Raymond has to decrypt the data before I can hand it over to Damien. And right when he starts to do that, someone else hacks in and steals all the blackmail data we just stole from Iraq. Holy fuck, it's a furry. Before he leaves, he plays an audio outing Claire. Turns out the whole reason Aiden was able to be identified by the person who carried out the hit was because Claire was hired by them to identify him. Aiden gets pissed off at her, and she runs away. Damien wants to meet in person. When I get there, Aiden tries to bluff and convince Damien to let Nikki go before Aiden makes all the data public, thus rendering the blackmail useless. Which is dumb. Damien will just kill Nikki if he doesn't get what he wants from Aiden. So he has all the power in the situation. Aiden says, well, he doesn't care if Nikki dies, go ahead, kill her, Damien, but like, dude, you do care, and Damien knows that. Damien obviously knows you give a shit about your sister dying. You already did the work for him because of that threat of her dying. So why would all of a sudden that threat now be useless? It's fucking dumb. Aiden demanding stuff here just doesn't work at all. And the fact he's supposed to be someone who's level-headed and smart, and then he pulls some dumb shit like this is comical. Damien, rightly pissed off at his arrogance, hacks all the nearby TV feeds to show that Aiden is a vigilante, which prompts all nearby civilians to call the cops on me. But the video feeds just show me in the same outfit I wear all the time. Actually, the same outfit I was wearing while I met Damien. So it's not like I have a fucking superhero costume I use when I want to be anonymous. Aiden does everything in this outfit, so people should always be able to recognize him, right? Like what, because he puts on that little fucking mask, you can't ID him? What the fuck? It's stupid. Anyways, this mission is easy. You just gotta escape the cops, no big deal. Raymond meets you at Default's house, the hacker who stole your data. He's trying to steal back the data, but unfortunately, it's not there. I then have to guide Ray out of harm's way using the cameras, but I just popped a blackout and knocked everyone else instead. It's way easier. While driving away, Default sends some more fixers to take you out, but the cool part about this mission is that Default can actually hack and control the city in the same way you do. He does this as you try to escape, exploiting steam pipes and raising bridges. It's a fresh change in the gameplay, and I honestly really like it. It also makes sense in terms of the story. Aiden and his friends aren't superheroes with unique abilities. They are just hackers who learned how to code the system. So it makes sense that other hackers can exploit it in the same way. Ray learned while in Default's house that Default's keeping the stolen data on his person, meaning I gotta find him. He's currently DJing at a local club. They really did not try to hide that his whole character stolen from fucking deadmau5. After doing a little hacking, I start chasing him. He leads me outside where he has a bunch of fixers waiting to ambush me, but it's nighttime, so you know what that means. I just pop a blackout and run past. After chasing Default in his car for a bit, I take him out and get the data back. Ran him over like I ran over those kids. Ray was finally able to figure out the location that Nikki's being held at. So I'm headed over to rescue my baby mama. My baby's cousin's mama, like my baby's aunt, because we're just siblings. That's it. Stop asking if we do more. It's getting creepy, okay? We're normal people. If she does get spotted, she dies very quick. I tried normally for a few times, but I couldn't get past the last few enemies. Nikki kept getting killed. What a loser. So I tried again, but when I sent her into the last section, I exited the camera quick and popped a blackout. Thankfully, it works for allies too. Nikki was now hidden in the dark and was able to get into the car and cut without being seen. With Nikki and Jackson still in the city, their targets were Damien and his crew, so I gotta drive them out of the city so they can get to safety. On the drive, Nikki questions why the cops are looking for Aiden when she realizes that he's the vigilante. But Damien already told her. In a phone call earlier in the game, he mentions that he's showing Nikki who Aiden really is, showing her videos of Aiden as the vigilante. So why do the writers just forget that she's supposed to know already? What? What the fuck happened here, man? Nikki gives Aiden some backseat driving.
Aiden, watch out!
It's fine.
And we get to Pawnee where I say goodbye to Nikki and my son Jackson. I mean, not my son. You know what? I'm tired of hiding the truth. Here it is. Me and Nikki may be siblings legally, but spiritually, mentally, and physically, we are lovers. And I refuse to hide my love anymore.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
Ray calls me. He decrypted the data, and it turns out Lucky Quinn is the one who sent the hit. What a surprise! The man who's in charge of Chicago's criminal empire, and the man who owns the hotel I was hacking into when I got the hit put on me? A man known for being a ruthless gangster that kills anybody in his way. He's the person that wanted me dead? I would have never guessed. Literally, you don't have to guess. That's how painfully obvious that it was always Quinn. I make my way to the Merlot to finally end Lucky and get revenge on Lena. That's where Claire calls me to apologize and says that she's gonna fix things, kind of implying she's gonna do something dangerous or sacrificial to make it up to Aiden. Trust me, this is important to know for later. I eavesdrop on the conversation between Mayor Rushmore and Lucky. It's clear that Lucky has some sort of blackmail on the mayor. While they're talking, you can hack Lucky's phone, where you can see he's currently getting a message from the club. They just located Claire, and they're telling him they're waiting for his go to take her out. Now, instead of watching the rest of this... What the fuck was that voice crack? Instead of watching the rest of the boring cutscene, I hacked at the camera of this back room so I can watch this topless girl make out with a random dude. Definitely way more entertaining than the scene that's going on in the background. Like, just seriously. I now gotta make my way up to the hotel. It's easy. Like everything else in this game, I just popped a blackout and ran to the objective. I actually fucked up my first time though, because I couldn't see where I was going and I went to the wrong hallway. But on the second try, I got it right. I get up to Quinn's hotel room where he was waiting with guards. They hold me at gunpoint as a cutscene plays out. When it's done, I get a QTE, and in it, I shoot one of the guards. I'm not going to count that as a fail. Listen, QuickTime events are just cutscenes with extra steps, alright? Fails and cutscenes don't count any of my challenges, but if you want to consider it a fail, fine. Just for the sake of the counter at the end of this video, this shot isn't going to be included. I mean, I already failed the challenge at this point, so it's not a big difference if I count this one or not. After the cutscene ends, I'm once again locked into the aiming position. I can't move, and I have to kill the guard in front of me, and if I don't do it quick enough, I die. But unlike last time, I can use tools. So I quickly pop a blackout. For some reason, that allows me to move, I don't know why, and he can't see me because of the blackout, even though it's not that dark in this room. Still locked in the aiming position, I slowly walk my way over to the guard. At this point, his AI breaks. He starts walking into a wall. I'm pretty sure the reason this happened is because the blackout forced the AI into the searching protocol, but he has no pathing for it, so this is what happened. Got close enough to him and I'm able to melee him. This is my first attempt at this section and I was genuinely shocked that I got it past it on my first try without shooting. I'm glad because this allows me to skip a fail, thank God. I know I already failed once, but I'm still trying to get as little fails as possible and this allows me to get one less. Still not done with Lucky's goons though, I gotta run past a few more. Thankfully, this is another area where I could just use a blackout and get out without ever being seen. I even said live how easy this was.
Literally, last area in the game, and I'm just running past it.
Got it on my second try. Once inside, I can finally confront Quinn alone. He has himself locked in a bulletproof room and starts a monologue about how he is the king of Chi-Town or whatever. I mean, that's not true. Chief Keef is the king of Chi-Town. While this is going on, I hack his email to see that he has already approved of the hit on Claire. He says it's because she knows too much, but remember, they hired her over a year ago to track down Aiden, so why would they care now? Turns out Lucky has a pacemaker, which is hackable, so I start to turn it off. Looked at myself in the camera while I'm doing it, all pixelated like the dicks in hentai. Quinn then explains why he took out the hit on Aiden and Damien. When they hacked into the lot, Quinn thought they were trying to steal the blackmail he has on the mayor. Specifically, a video of the mayor accidentally killing his mistress. So he sent his boys after us in case we knew too much. I actually really like this. The idea that everything that happened to Damien and Aiden was just because of a misunderstanding that had nothing to do with them. It shows how powerful the criminal Quinn is by making his hit on you an act of caution more than an act of need. And shows how small Aiden, and more specifically his dead niece, are in respect to the greater world of the criminal empire in Chicago. Aiden became the vigilante because of the hit. He was no one before that, so it's fitting that the reason he was targeted wasn't because he actually pissed off a mob boss. It was just a circumstance of wrong person, wrong place, wrong time. Unironically too, the game's story was trying to emulate Batman throughout and mostly failed, but the birth of both characters come out of the same place. They're both born from a crime-ridden city that targeted them without passion. They were no one and became who they are because of that. I like it, but, you know, it doesn't really hold up to the rest of the fucking story, so it kinda doesn't matter. After finally turning off Quinn's heart, Aiden gives a monologue about how good he feels about killing Quinn and fulfilling his revenge, showing that he has no character growth and is just as selfish as he was in the beginning of the game. He says this while killing Quinn.
Haven't you heard? I'm the vigilante. I clean up mess like you.
But that's not true. Everything he has done, and everything you do in the game, is in service of your own selfish goals. Not the city's, not the people's, not some code of ethics. It's always solely been about getting his revenge, and he still holds that same viewpoint after killing Lucky. After getting out, Damien gives me a call. Claire had called him up. Out of regret, she offered to trade places with Nikki to make up for giving Lucky Aiden and Damien's name. See, Claire doesn't know that Nikki already got out. And with Damien pissed off at me for not giving him the blackmail, he decides to put a hit on Claire to get back at me. Wait, hang on. If you remember, like 5 minutes ago, I read a message on Lucky's phone. He had just put the hit on Claire. But then,
Damien also put a hit on Claire at the same time? Yeah, that's what's happening. That's how bad the fucking writing is in this game. They forgot they already wrote a hit for one of the fucking main characters in the game. They already wrote how this character is gonna die and who's gonna kill them. But then they wrote a second one. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but man, is it bad. Lucky Quinn putting a hit on Claire never made any sense. Why would they care about her a year later? Damien wanting to get back at Aiden for screwing him over by killing Claire does make sense to me. But you know, it's overshadowed by the fact that they wrote 2 fucking hits on her. And it's never addressed. The game continues as if Damien was the only person responsible for her death. It's still, like, why? Why? Did they not even, like, play the game once? Like, if they played the game once, they would have seen this shit, because it's fucking glaringly obvious. You get to Claire, and she's at my daughter's grave. And the truth is, Alina died not because of the car crash, but because of complications from being the offspring of inbreeding. Sorry, not sorry. Claire gets dropped faster than those kids I hit drunk driving, and I'm forced into another locked aim position. Tried switching weapons, using items, and going to cover, but nothing worked. But when my focus ran out, I was able to get into cover and broke the locked aim position. After that, it was another easy section, just blew them all up. Aiden leaves her body in the graveyard, and I mean, I guess it makes sense, it is a graveyard, but you can't just dump them there like that. Trust me, I've tried. I get back to the bunker and release all the blackmail Iraq and Quinn had saved up. Aiden wants to upload it online, so someone like Damien can't get it and hold it against people. But I mean, he could delete it, right? This is supposed to be the only copy, so if he deletes it, no one can ever get it also. And he even says there's some innocent people who will get their secrets exposed here. So if Aiden acted like he cared about other people, he would delete it. But I guess he just wanted to rub it in Damien's face, after all. He only cares about himself. This is the last mission of the game. Damien, pissed that I released the blackmail, throws everything he's got at me. He fully unlocks ctOS, allowing him to hack the city at his will. T-Bone. Oh, yeah, that's Raymond's nickname. I haven't called him that the whole script because I just feel weird calling a 50-year-old white man with dreads T-Bone. He tells me of a way to reset ctOS by causing a massive blackout. Normally this would be an easy mission, just drive to each location and do the 3 hacks, but Damien's hacking makes the drive hard. The first location is easy, and I'm able to hide in the building away from the police while the hack installs. The second location is a similar situation, but they eventually found me. I was able to kill all the surrounding officers and barely made it without getting sniped by the helicopter. My car is almost wrecked on the way to the third one, but when I got there I was able to hide in a car and lose the cops. With the third hack done, all I have to do is drive back while avoiding Damien's hacks. Thankfully, without the cops on me, this section is super easy. Pissed off I got the cops on me again, I sent one to space. Before I reboot ctOS, a member of DedSec, an activist hacker group, contacts me, and asks if I can wait 30 seconds, allowing them to put some code so they can disrupt ctOS easier. Now for background, DedSec holds the same viewpoints as Aiden about ctOS. They think it's a massive overreach of power and that's easily corruptible. And a bunch of the ctOS hacks I can do in the game come from DedSec in the first place. So it makes sense that Aiden would allow them to put their little code in, right? Like, they obviously like each other, they obviously benefit off each other, why not? Oh right, that means if it makes sense, the writers aren't going to do it. I forgot. Yeah, I don't even get the point of having this interaction in the game. This is the first time Aiden directly talks to DedSec, and he just shits on them. Like, what value does the story get from this? Why even show this to the player? It just makes Aiden look like a dick.
It will be your watchdogs.
Roll credits. Space. I black out all of Chicago, and honestly, this part is really cool. Just walking outside and watching the whole city turn dark is satisfying. Damien's at the lighthouse. I get a boat and drive over it. This last part is me just walking up into a cutscene. Somehow, I fuck even that up. Look how fucked up this pause screen is. I get to the top of the lighthouse and meet with Damien. As we're talking, Jordy pops up out of nowhere. Which is impressive, because Aiden is standing next to the only ladder up there, so I guess he just teleported. He isn't here to save us though. Jordy is here to complete a contract on us. Fucking over the entire crime syndicate, put a bounty on my head so big that not even Jordy can resist it. I hack the lighthouse, making it explode, take Jordy down, and pull a gun on Damien. Once again, I'm locked to the aiming position, and of course this is how the run ends. Tried a few times to move around, use items, but nothing worked, and if I didn't shoot fast enough, I would get popped by Damien. So, I shot his crippled leg. Yeah, it's cruel, but he makes it fail here, so I was pissed off. Credits roll, but at the very end, I get a secret scene where I get to a garage with Maurice in it. I get the option to kill him or walk away and let him go. This was the most difficult choice of the run. I obviously blew his brains out. Just joking. I mean, Maurice is pretty annoying, so I wouldn't mind blowing his back out. I mean, brains out. But I'm still doing the challenge, so I just walked away. And now I actually finished the game without using guns.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Look, it's the credits. You know what that means. Game is over, right? The credits here are actually cool. It's a bunch of news reports explaining what happened in the city because the blackmail got leaked. And at the very end, you get a teaser for the sequel, which promises a more advanced version of ctOS, which happens in the sequel, so it is kind of cool that they delivered on that. But yeah, I failed, man. I had to shoot twice, and that's twice more than 0. This challenge was a lot of fun. Learning how to play the game without guns basically changed into a different game. I mean, with guns, Watchdogs is basically the same gameplay as GTA 5, but with hacking. Without guns, it becomes a really unique gaming experience. Listen, a lot of people skipped out on this game because its release flopped. You know, they did that thing where they marketed the game as if it was going to be this really cool high-tech thing, and then it just was super glitchy and not what they promised. So a lot of people skipped out on it, but I highly recommend trying it. I genuinely like playing this game. It is fun. As long as you don't mind the abysmal writing in the story, you're gonna have a good time. This video is long, I know, so if you made it this far, thank you. And you know what? To fuck with everyone that didn't watch all the way through, comment, man, the video was great. It's kind of fucked up you started talking about your adult breastfeeding experience at the end. Or something like along those lines, just to fuck with everybody else, because they're gonna have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you guys did like this longer form of video, let me know. I'm thinking about doing some longer videos on my games I want to talk about, and then normal 20-minute videos on games where I'm just cracking jokes, or games I already did videos about. And mainly because I like talking in depth about games. I got a few more ideas lined up. I'm thinking about doing Watchdogs 2, another Resident Evil 8, Horizon Zero Dawn, a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, and like last time, I'm going to stream when I record these. So if you want to come chill or get a sneak peek on my next video, just follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/crispy645. I'm also going to be streaming Dead by Daylight a few times a week too, so if you're into that game, you can watch that as well. I'm a really small YouTuber still. It took me like 50 plus hours to make this. I'm looking at the audio file right now as I'm recording, and it's at 2.5 hours of audio, and it's going to take me another like 2.5 hours to edit all of it down. I really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe if you really like the video. And if you know anybody who would like the video, if you could send it to them, that'd be amazing. I mean, not much else to say. I generally appreciate you guys making this far. Let me know what you guys thought about my stuff, my commentary. I mean, there's some other things I want to talk about too, which I didn't really. I mean, like one small thing is in the game. Like, you know how I said there's the personal hacks you can do on enemies? It's always a random what personal hacks you can do on certain enemies, with the exception of enforcers. Which means sometimes when you spawn in, you get like really good RNG and everybody has an explosive you can blow up, and then sometimes you get like shit on and there's nothing to do. And I just thought that was stupid, because it makes it, personal hacks are either super overpowered sometimes or super fucking weak. And it's like, they could have just made it each enemy section has specific enemies with specific hacks, but they didn't. So I don't know. There's like a bunch of stuff in this game. Like, I think this game is really interesting because of it. Like, it's good gameplay. The hacking thing is cool. Like, it's not any issues there. It's just like all the other stuff around the game is so fucking weird to me. Anyways, I really enjoyed talking about it, and I hope you guys did too. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Hey, buddy. Injured? He looks okay to me though.